Leo, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to say I love you. I appreciate you so very much for staying with this community, okay? If you're brand new to the channel or just cross-watching for your sign, I invite you to come in, okay? Subscribe. Check out some of the videos that I just recently put out, okay? Hopefully something will line up and match with you, all right? Leo, like I always say, sometimes in our life, these cards line up and sometimes they don't, and when they don't hate the reader, just move on. But I do appreciate any of the comments that you would like to, put on there. So whether they're good or they're bad, I'm going to take them. All right. Anyway, I'll show you the download. We'll shuffle up and we'll start to talk about your categories. All right. Leo, keep in mind that I am starting to always put the haiku poems right before your reading. I feel like it's a neat transition right into the reading, kind of a smooth transition. Anyway, I'd like to hear about those as well if you enjoy the haiku poems. There'll be 3 of them right before the reading. Leo, I wish for you hope, love, abundance, health, wealth, generosity in your life, sharing, providing, giving, the whole 9, okay? I love you, I respect you, and I hope this reading clarifies some things for you. I've already pre-shuffled, but I want to shuffle up just for, sake of transparency. We're going to lay out these cards. We're going to talk about your current energy, crossing challenge. We're going to talk about the foundation, the recent past, the possibilities, the near future. I'll go over each and every one of these cards and show you all the cards up close. Talk about the self, the environment, the hopes, fears, wishes, or worries, and the outcome and the direction. All right, Leo, I'm going to take just a minute to check out these cards, and while I'm doing that, here are your 3 poems. Okay, Leo, I hope you enjoyed those poems. Here's the skinny on this. I feel like we are probably talking about maybe a Gen Z. Um, and I'm not going to try to speak the language of the Gen Z because I'll just sound stupid as hell. But I do feel like we're talking about a younger person here. And I mean no disrespect in that. So I'm going to try to shoot this to you like the cool ass uncle who sees you, okay? This reading starts off with some fire energy, okay? It's messy, it's hot, but I just feel like there may not be a little bit of stability in it. But so, in saying that, if you're into it, let's check it out, right? Your very first card, the Knight of Wands, okay? You got somebody in your field who is given the I want you, but I also want freedom kind of an energy here. So, yeah, it's definitely messy. It's magnetic. It's not boring, right? But I just don't feel like there's stability in this, okay? This is like someone watching your stories, like you are their morning devotion, okay? And I'm going to let you look at me. I don't know if you can see my eyes. You're like their morning devotion, okay? You're a project here. I'm going to tell you why. Hang on, okay? All right. So, this is definitely fire sign energy, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, right? Not to put down any of the other, signs. That's not what I mean here. But I feel like this is the, somebody who ghosted you and then suddenly they remember your name, right? Um, a situationship here that's trying to like resurrect itself. Okay. maybe without you even asking for it. um, this is because your energy's in this too. You're feeling bold. You got the new hair going on. Some new clothes, new confidence kind of energy here, right? And so someone's definitely attracted to you. But as far as the emotional depth is concerned, I'm not so sure. Okay, this is you're craving the adventure more than routine for you, right? But someone I feel like is acting pretty territorial here, okay, without acting, upon commitment or the devotion side of things here. It's your energy's like getting attention everywhere you go, whether it's online, on in person or something like that. But and it's giving off that you're ready to take a risk that scares you in a good way. Okay. Um, as far as like the human behavior, it's they're hot and cold because they don't know what they want, but all they know is they want you. So I don't know. As far as synchronicities are concerned, you could be seeing like the numbers 111 or like 555. Um, that represents like new beginnings with 111 and sudden shifts 555. So we could be talking about Aries season um, between now and I would say around April the 19th. Those dates could be significant for somebody. That is the Aries of dates. So something like that could apply for somebody here. All right, we're going to move on now into the challenge card. We have the Eight of Wands. Deep breath, baby girl. And I do feel like I'm speaking to a gender specific here. So just take what resonates, all right? This part might sting a little bit, but I'm saying it to you with love, okay? Your challenge is communication, okay, that feels like a roller coaster. I'm seeing it all throughout the cards here, but this is someone texting you fast and then disappearing, like maybe they're allergic to consistency, okay? You're waiting for this message, and it ain't coming in, it's delayed. This could be talking about like a long distance connection for some of you, okay? Maybe you just live in another town away or something like that, or just far enough away that it's not easy to get to, or you're not easy to get to, or something like that. But things speed up, and then somebody slams on the brakes here. Okay, this is the sending the flirty messages at the worst possible time. So timing is taking place here. A third party pops up in someone's DMs. I could be talking about that. Someone's typing, deleting, that type of deal. And perhaps because you're in that glow up stage, you're just getting a lot of signs faster than you can, really interpret what's going on. Okay. This is feeling the pressure to respond quickly, even when you're not ready to. Okay. So someone's communication style is giving a red flag, you know. Um, as far as synchronicities, we're talking about like the numbers 222. That does represent kind of relationship alignment or misalignment becoming very obvious for you here. Okay. All right, we're going to move on into the next card, which talks about the foundation, what's lying underneath here. We got the Page of Cups. Um, you're craving softness, not chaos. You know what I mean? This is someone who, this is someone that you want to text back. To remember the small details about things. They don't treat your vulnerability like it's some kind of a crime here. Your self worth situation. This is a shy crush, um, low key, obsessed, but scared. You know what I mean? I don't know, someone who likes your post, but they're not making a move. The obvious things, but this could be you're having dreams that feel like messages. Okay, you want romance, not situationships. It could represent somebody sending a soft apology. You know, um, Maybe you're reconnecting with like your inner romantic now or something like that. Trying to figure things out, but I don't know. You could be having signs like, butterflies. Maybe you just got a butterfly tattoo or something like that. Feathers. Songs that just kind of keep coming up in your head, or one that's just stuck in your head all damn day long. That type of deal. But I feel like you're ready to open your heart again. Okay, and it's slow. All right, but this is definitely transformation and definitely someone thinking about you. Okay, so All right, we're going to move on into the recent past, and we have the Two of Pentacles now. This is all right. I need to be gentle here, but you're juggling way too much, okay? Emotionally, financially, romantically, the whole nine. So just take this with a grain of salt, okay? But I feel like you're torn between maybe a couple people or a couple different directions here, okay? This is the someone treated you like an option card, you know. Uh, you could be balancing out your work, um, the stress from work, things like that, emotional exhaustion. Um, this is and added to that is somebody keeping you in like the maybe zone, waiting for someone to choose you, doing way more emotional labor than the other person is. Here's what I'm getting at, right? You're trying to stay optimistic in this situation, but you're drained. Okay, so this is like maybe this has also got the energy like it's almost like you're adapting to someone else's, uh, somebody else's inconsistency here. It's like managing bills, responsibilities, and burnout along with this person's no text or no shows or just the whole I've gone obsolete on you here, and you're just trying to keep peace while somebody else is keep on delivering this chaos to you here. But as far as synchronicities are concerned, you're about to probably see a shift in your money situation though. Okay, and that's about the positive of that card. But I'm going to move on now. Okay, we're going to look at the possibilities. We have the Two of Wands. All right, in the possibilities, you're choosing expansion here. This means you're making that decision. You're planning either like to travel or choosing between your comfort, your growth, how you're going to about maneuver throughout the rest of this season that this is in, right? It's imagining like a future that feels a hell of a lot bigger than what your past was, okay? And that's a good place to be. It's not settling. It's like mapping out a new, like you're deciding how you'd like to venture through your career now, I don't know, maybe preparing for like a risk or something like that that's going to definitely take you into a new direction here. Stepping into your next chapter of life, whatever that might mean for you. Okay, you could be seeing signs of like 1111 that does represent like the new manifestation, that's about to take place here. So just take what applies with you. All right, we're moving on into the near future, and once again, I'm going to be soft because it's kind of spicy here. This is tension. This is jealousy. This is competition, but it's very revealing, okay? Because the truth always comes out of this situation. So this could look like something like somebody in a third party, trying to interfere. You and someone else may be arguing, even about the communication side. This has got the comparison of someone's ex or something like that involved. This is being pulled in lots of different directions. Maybe like a coworker or a friend or something like that, maybe competing with you. This is someone stalking your social media. It's got the I'm finally about to confront somebody about this bullshit. That's what, as far as like synchronicities are concerned, somebody could be like, I don't know, maybe seeing like black cats or something. And I love black cats, don't get me wrong. It's just got that, I don't know, and I hate to say it like this, but it has that cursed, thing on it that's just like, so something in the synchronicities here. It's all about intuition and hidden motives is what I'm getting at. Okay, so don't take that in a negative way. All right, we're going to move on now into the self, and once again, baby girl, take a deep breath because what I mean is you're tired of being misunderstood, or taken for granted, and that's what this card is representing to me. It's like you're done arguing with people who's twisting up your words and shit. It's walking away from all the mind games, um, setting boundaries that are probably shocking the shit out of people. Okay, um, choosing peace over like having to prove your point all the time, refusing to chase. It's got the energy of I'm about to reclaim my power, stand back. Okay, um, it could also it could also represent like, you're starting to understand what your boundaries really are, the things that, you know, um, the things that are draining you, cutting off the people that are draining you. It's really like stepping into the emotional sovereignty that is required to move through this particular phase. Okay, and trust me, it is definitely just a phase. Okay. As far as synchronicities are concerned, you might be seeing like the numbers 444. You could be waking up at like 444. Um, it does represent like protection and reinforcement. So angel numbers 414, something like that. Okay. All right, moving on now. We're going to talk about the environment, right? Someone around you is sharp. They're observant, emotionally guarded, but I feel like there's some honesty in this, okay? It's the tough love, and I feel like this may be me. All right, no, I'm just saying there may be somebody that you're around that like a friend or a coworker or somebody that's kind of giving you advice, like to, maybe cut somebody off here in this situation. um, Someone definitely wants you, but only if it's real. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's got the someone analyzing every move that you make, and I feel like you're just protecting your heart, and I feel like there may be a person around you that's kind of helping you see that or something. Um, you might be surrounded by a bunch of people who kind of like expect you to, to have clarity on this situation, but you're still kind of in that foggy. I'm in my blow up, right? I'm feeling good, looking good. Um, and yet they're kind of trying to give you that silent advice, behind the scenes. So pay attention to that, all right? Not to say that you need the validation from anybody or anything like that, but it's like, um, you want to invest in yourself and not have to hide, your true emotions. So, definitely let this card ring in the ears of wisdom and truth in that situation, all right? Okay, moving on into the hopes, fears, wishes, and worries. And we've got the 10 of Wands, all right? Once again, this is kind of like that gentle, Uncle JT giving you some advice here. Take it with a grain of salt. But this is the fear of falling for someone who's not going to reciprocate that back to you, right? This is boundaries. This is overwhelmed by responsibilities, Um, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but it's like the truth hits hard. You're on your own. You're doing your thing, and you're afraid of choosing wrong, right? You're worried that someone might be hiding something, afraid of losing yourself, maybe in love or in a situation. Carrying guilt of some kind could be significant for somebody, but like maybe it's also that you're afraid of being way too much, or not enough here in that deal. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like if you're seeing like some synchronicities of any kind, it might be like the numbers 555 here. That's representing release and change. So this could be happening to you here pretty quickly. It may be happening right now. So just take what applies. But in the outcome and the direction, we have the Hermit. Okay. This is ending this cycle with clarity. Okay. And I feel like this is the glow up that I was talking about, that where you're finally choosing yourself. You're understanding more about your self-worth. You're no longer chasing. Um, this is the I'm attracting now. Okay. Maybe somebody is receiving some kind of like a really divine kind of a spiritual a movement in their soul, a spiritual download, so to speak. So this is kind of like I'm going to take a break from dating. I need to reset. Um, it could look like someone from your past trying to return as well, but you're different now. There's something that's definitely changed in you. Okay, and this is finding peace in your own company. This is healing deep emotional wounds. Becoming magnetic because you're no longer available to the chaos situation. That's what I'm getting here. So this is the time where you're no longer auditioning for people. Um, those who don't know how to love you. Okay, you're stepping out of that inconsistency. It's emotional clarity. People from your past may try to come back. They may try to return to you, especially this person, this kind of that Rico Suave energy that I felt right from the very beginning. But I feel like your standards are definitely higher. Okay, your boundaries are cleaner. Um, you're not becoming colder in this situation. You're just becoming more wise. So Leo, I feel like this. I feel like I said, like the uncle, the cool uncle. At least I'm trying to be cool here. I love you and I respect you, and I want you to know I don't. I mean this with all my heart. It'd be like, you're my niece, and I don't want somebody to hurt you like this. But uh, there's no magic. There's no secret. People can tell you all kinds of advice. You know what I mean? But this hermit represents, your heart space. It's talking about, what you already know intuitively. So if you could find the time to kick back and really pay attention to what your heart is saying here, I feel like that is the best bet for you. Um, Nobody wants to be on the receiving end of betrayal and somebody's mind games and stuff like that. So anyway, Leo, I hope you like this. If you did, give it a thumbs up, would you? And I do invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay. Anyway, I love you very much. I'm going to leave this with you. And I hope I get to see you on the next readings. Okay. All right. Bye bye.